Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, joined today by Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports on Twitter, and Marco D'Angelo. I forget his Twitter name. Let's talk about a nice, Big Ten game here. I like the dog early on. Iowa State catching 6.5 at Penn State, total 52. Kirk Ferentz, I've made a lot of fun of over the years, but this year I think he's got this team ready to go. But more so, this is a play against Penn State for me. I am not sold. Now, Penn State loses that terrible, I don't even know how they lost that game to Ohio State. They lose, okay? Then they lose to Sparty as double-digit favorites. Then they go on the road to Indiana, and I said last week on a different show that I do, look for Penn State to just kind of be coasting. And I feel like that's just where they've hit. They don't have a lot to play for here. How much does that go into your handicapping style, Brian? Like, does that matter at all? Do you look at how a team's been kind of digressing over the last several weeks?
It does matter when you take a look at teams that had higher expectations. As the season goes on, they start to lose these games. The Michigan States, now the Penn States. Penn State was looking for, they came into the season with the chance to play for the national championship. Michigan State the same way, not maybe to a lesser extent, but when you start losing these games, that's a situation that you want to start fading these teams. But the thing that concerns me about Iowa is they've been terrific on the lines. They're dominating the lines. They were up 16 on sacks this year. Penn State's up 11. So this is finally a team that they're playing that's equally good across the lines, and that's the extent that Iowa does well. When you're taking a look at early down success rate, which is getting first downs on first and second down, Penn State has that ability. Penn State has an offense to do that. Iowa's been terrible all season long. Problem is Iowa's been playing teams where they can just grind them down as the year goes on, or as the game goes on, and that's how they win these games. Iowa's defense is very good. I still have concerns about Iowa's offense. I made the line on this Penn State 7.5, but I'm not going to be on this one.
All right, Marco. Third-rate defense. This is one of my favorite adages. Take the better defense plus the points. This Iowa defense is really good. Brian is correct. Their offense is I'm a little skeptical about them, but if this defense can make big plays, force a turnover, I think they have a shot to win here.
I agree with you, and as you said, you got to question the psyche of Penn State. To me, Penn State, they know everything's done. So for them, they've got one game left on the schedule that really means something, and that's going to be the Michigan game. And ironically, when do they play Michigan? Next week. Right. So that's a big negative here. You looked at the Indiana game last week. That's a team that Penn State's supposed to blow out, and they were coming off those two heartbreaking losses. They showed up. They found a way to win, but they were dominated in that game. Indiana had 554 yards of offense. Now, they ran 100 plays, Indiana did, in that game against Penn State. I am just concerned. James Franklin, his late game decisions, they could be up 10 or 14 points in this game and then go conservative again in the fourth quarter, and Iowa finds that way to get us the old back door. And, Monday night was a nice backdoor for Giants backers. I see that here. I see this coming down to a field goal. Either way, Penn State win it or lose it on the field goal. I'm going to go ahead, take the points with Iowa State. This is a spot, but I may be having a different play next week whenever they go to Michigan.
Guys, Tuesday is always $2 Tuesday. You get the hottest handicapper at WagerTalk's Best Bet for just $2.